Most advertisers are treating AI Max like another Google update. Test it when you're ready, or wait and see how it goes. That will only lead to failure. Whether you're ready or not, Google is migrating dynamic search ads, automated assets, broad match settings into AI Max in September. Just earlier at Google Marketing Live, they laid out exactly where search advertising is heading. LDR, AI Max will swallow everything. It will occupy the lion's share of your Google budget. My name is Rob, and I run Kaliber. This is a complete guide to what AI Max is, what you need to know before September hits, how to avoid setups that will hurt your account, and the exact steps to start implementing it. The truth about keyword targeting is that it was never the full picture. It was a compressed version of intent. Users had to compress what they wanted because Google could only work with fragments in the past. Someone used to search accounting software. Now they search, what accounting software should I use if I run a 12-person agency, invoice clients monthly, and need zero integration? That's not a keyword, that's a brief. And Google's old matching system built to match strings it couldn't handle. Not because intent wasn't valuable, because it was too complex to fit into a keyword. Here's what actually happens when someone searches in AI mode today. AI mode just passed 1 billion monthly users in under a year. Queries in AI mode are on average 3 times longer than traditional searches. Brainstorming searches like ideas for, where should I, which should I buy, are growing 30% faster than AI mode overall. That's not just a usage trend. That's a signal that people have learned that search can handle the full question, not just a fragment of it. And they're starting their searches much earlier before they've even decided what they want. So I'm just going to say it. Keywords are dead. They're no longer the input that it was 20 years ago. Keywords no longer sit at the top of Google's decision stack. Google is now reading your landing pages, your website structure, your creative assets, your conversion data, and your business rules alongside your keywords to decide where you show up. There's a degree in which keywords still matter. They just don't run the system alone anymore. The change didn't start with Google. It started with users. Search behavior shifted before most advertisers noticed. AI Max is Google's response to what users were already doing. Everyone says AI Max is a new campaign type. The truth is, it's something different, and that distinction changes how we use it. AI Max is an optimization layer on top of your existing search campaigns. It doesn't replace your campaign structure. It changes how Google makes 3 decisions inside of it. Old search used to ask, does this keyword match the query? AI Max asks, is this business a good answer to the user situation? That's a very, very different question. It requires a different set of inputs. There are 3 features inside AI Max. Most advertisers focus only on one. Search term matching expands beyond your keyword list, using your pages, your assets, and domain content to find queries you never wrote a keyword for. Text customization generates your headlines, descriptions, and your landing page copy. Your website becomes the raw material for your ad creative. And final URL expansion can route a click to any page on your domain that Google judges more relevant to the query. Not just the URL that you assign to the ad, any page on the domain. All this means your website is no longer just your website. It's your targeting data, your ad copy input, and your landing page inventory for Google AI Max. So what actually is the difference between AI Max and Performance Max? Performance Max, or better known as PMax, runs across every Google surface. Search, YouTube, display, Gmail, discovery, maps, all under one campaign. Think of AI Max as a search-specific upgrade. It is not a separate campaign type. It changes how Google matches queries, customizes ads, and chooses landing pages. These two are not meant to be competing. They're designed to work together. And the new AI era ad formats are designed around both. Old search was like giving Google a shopping list. AI Max is more like giving Google a business brief. The inputs have changed, the stakes have changed, and so does what you need to prepare. So here's the uncomfortable truth about dynamic search ads. They will stop existing in September 2026. Google has confirmed that dynamic search ads, automatically created assets, and campaign broad level match settings will begin upgrading to AI Max from September. This does not apply to every campaign type, but if you're running DSA campaigns, the migration is coming. Some of your existing URL controls may carry over, but if you haven't properly reviewed them, Google may still be learning from the pages, copy, and signals you never intentionally designed for ads. The risk isn't the migration itself, the risk is at arriving at it unprepared. Standard search campaigns can't access the new AI era ad formats Google just announced, and here's why. At Google Marketing Live 2026, Google previewed personalized answer ads, direct offers in AI mode, business agent for leads, and AI-powered shopping ads with Gemini-generated copy. The clearest signal from that keynote is the new AI-era ad formats are being built around AI-powered campaign infrastructure, especially AI Max and Performance Max. If you're running standard campaigns, you're operating the previous version of the service, while the next one is being built around a completely different infrastructure. Most advertisers already understand the first half of search. You can buy the keyword, you can personalize the ad, you can get the click. But what happens after the click is where most accounts fail. The user lands on a page that doesn't answer their question, that doesn't match their situation, and makes them work too hard to take the next step. This is what AI Max starts to expose. Because AI Max does not just look at your keywords, it looks at your pages, your content, your assets, and your conversion signals to decide whether your business is a good answer for that user. So the real shift is not just better targeting. The real shift is that your website experience becomes a part of how you win search. And if you're looking to roll out AI Max, don't turn everything on blindly. Here's the order you should run to start safely. Start with search term matching first. This is the cleanest way to understand the new demand AI Max is finding beyond your keyword list. Google says that after enabling AI Max, you should give the campaign at least 2 weeks before making major changes, so the system has time to learn. Add text customization second, but only after adding text guidelines. Google says text customization can generate ad copy using your existing ads, assets, and landing page content. So before you switch it on, you want clear guardrails around brand tone, compliance, pricing, claims, and messaging. Add final URL expansion last. Google says that final URL expansion can send users to the most relevant landing page on your site. That is powerful, but only if your website's ready. Before enabling it, order your website, build URL exclusions, and classify which pages Google is allowed to use as a landing page. The features compound, but the risk compounds too if the foundation isn't ready. Here is the biggest mistake people make when they turn on AI Max. They skip the governance pass. No text guidelines, no URL exclusions, no offline conversion data feeding back into the account. Google's AI optimizes towards signals it receives, nothing more. If every form submission is treated equally, it finds the cheapest leads. If your site has outdated or legally unclear pages, it learns from them. If you haven't told it what not to say, it will figure that out on your budget. The system isn't misbehaving. It's correctly interpreting bad inputs. AI Max doesn't remove the need for strategy. It punishes the accounts that don't have one. 3 things need to be placed before AI Max can work properly. Number 1, URL governance. Crawl your site, classify every page, exclude what shouldn't be a landing page. 2, text guidelines. Brand tone, compliance restrictions, pricing rules, messaging guardrails. These are the new versions of negative keywords applied to AI-generated copy instead of query matching. And finally, conversion quality. Not just volume, the downstream signals that tell Google what a good outcome actually looks like. Without qualified conversion data feeding back in, AI Max optimizes for quantity, not quality. This is what we mean at Kaliber when we say the work has moved upstream. It's not about managing bids or writing keywords anymore. It's about preparing the business inputs that AI advertising systems now depend upon. To summarize things, AI Max changes 3 things advertisers use to control banging. When your ad appears, what it says, and where the user lands. Everything in between comes down to how clearly you define your business for Google's AI. If you want to know whether your account is ready, start by looking at 3 things. Landing pages, your URL exclusions, and conversion quality. That's where most of the risk sits. We've put our approach to the AI era search on these pillars. If you want to see what that looks like in practice, check out Kaliber.Asia or DM me directly. Like and subscribe if this was useful. Questions in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.